Hello and welcome to Forever Red Devils. And today we're going to be talking about the Gary Neville take on the weekend and the fact that he has criticized Amorim, but been very upfront about the fact that Manchester United have gotten worse. It'll be an interesting one to have a bit of a dive into sort of what he's saying and where he's correct, and a very, very brutal assessment of United, but I genuinely think probably quite close to the truth. And expose a lot of issues that I think we probably need to deal with in the next few weeks, especially now that the transfer window is officially done and dusted, and United are only bringing in realistically basically one, maybe two players if you're kind of considering Aiden Heaven and getting out Anthony Rashford as well as Phil Malacia, whose loan was confirmed yesterday, and he will spend the rest of the season in the Netherlands at PSV. There is a 10 million euro buy option and a 30% sell on clause as well. So that's actually pretty good business, to be fair. To Ineos first, I think piece of business we've gone, yeah, actually cool, fair enough, well done. So let's get into it, shall we? And before we do, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. So Gary Neville's big thing is that Man United have become worse under Ruben Amorim, and it cannot keep going on like this, is what he said. And he's right. He's right. We have become worse. It's whether it's his fault or not. The reality is we are in a worse off position in terms of just the performance we're seeing. You know, we're 14th in the league, and the run we've had has been absolutely dreadful. We out of the Carabao Cup into the next round of the FA Cup, so that's kind of our saving grace, as well as the Europa League where we won the games where we hadn't actually won anything under Ten Hag. I will say that I think the teams we played in the last stage of the Europa League were probably easier teams to beat than the initial stages. But at the end of the day, even talking between Ten Hag and Ruben Amorim is not much of a muchness in terms of results because they've all been pretty horrible. And this is what Gary Neville had to say. He said, I thought it would get better when Ruben Amorim came in. The enthusiasm of him and the new system, the players would buy into and we'd see a bounce. But we've seen the absolute opposite. And it's got a lot worse. And that's surprising. He's right, though. Usually you get a sort of a new manager bounce. The team sort of kicks into gear. Players desperate to prove that they're not the problem, that the manager was the issue. But with a change of manager, the change of system, and the entire coaching staff as well changed. We have gotten, I feel we've gotten a lot worse. I feel like we're about much more, I don't think we're very potent in front of goal. We're kind of struggling to get any sort of chances. And he said there's going to be a lot more pain towards the end of the season, and it's going to be damaging because they're obviously going to stick with Amorim. But the more you lose, the more difficult it is for the manager to convince the players of his idea. And basically what he says, and he's very right, is that Ruben Amorim is basically willing to die on his formation. He is not going to change. He very much said, I will not change my idea. I need the players to buy into that. And he's right. It's his idea. It's the way he plays. And he needs to basically really sort of stick to it because that's the way he wants to play football. That's his whole vision. But Neville's right in terms of the problem is now we're not getting the results. We're seeing bad performances. We're struggling to score goals. And all of a sudden you start to really question the new system that he's brought in. You question, we start to question him. And that's the problems. He said if they keep losing and they keep getting criticised and the spotlight comes on them more and the fans are leaving unhappy, it creates a feeling and you can't keep losing. And that's our biggest problem is that we can't just continue having these bad results and then try and pick ourselves up. And a damning stat is the fact that he's lost more games now at Manchester United than he did in his last 75 games at Sporting Lisbon. That's how bad things have come. And I think the biggest worry was Sunday with the playing selection. The fact that we saw Kobe Mainoo leading the line. Like, Kobe Mainoo should never, ever, ever be leading the line in any team. I know he's a player, so he likes to get forward, and he likes to play more sort of attacking positions. He likes to try and become a bit of a goal scorer, but he's a player who needs to chip in with goals. We cannot have him playing up front. He is, at best, maybe, he can play in the number 10 role in the future. I do still think he's very much a box-to-box midfielder. But I wouldn't say a holding midfielder as much. I think he works more in terms of getting him more onto the ball and getting him into that sort of attacking third. But he should be playing in one of the 2 10s at the absolute most. Definitely should not be leading the line. And Neville sort of said it as much, saying, I thought Bruno Fernandes was going to play in that position, or Alejandro Garnacho might play up front and Fernandes to the right. When I saw Mainoo as a centre forward or dropping into that position, I thought it's okay. You'll get control in the game and you can get decent football, and it can con you, it can kid you, because he makes a very good point. Where's the physicality coming from? This is the Premier League where your strikers generally have to be either very physical or very quick, or a combination of both. And you look at the successful strikers, and they are that. And You've seen what Erling Haaland has done, for example, over the last couple of seasons. Ollie Watkins making it, the way that he sort of, Jamie Vardy and the likes of those, all looking at some of the top strikers. You look at Arsenal, for example, how Havertz has sometimes struggled in front of goal, but they're sort of seeing a lot more goals coming from the wing. But you ideally need a certain amount of physicality in the box to be able to draw players in, to be able to give players doubt. Whereas I think our front three at the moment, without Rasmus Højlund and without Joshua Zirkzee, will get bullied. Not to say that they would have made much difference if we had gone with a Joshua Zirkzee, Rasmus Højlund, because they're also really struggling. And that kind of just shows you, first of all, shows you lack of faith Ruben Amorim has in both of them, given the fact they left them out. But it also kind of just shows you that there's just not a lot of options. And that's very, very worrying. So it's a problem, in terms of where we go from next, because with the transfer window, we don't get to see new players, for example. I mean, I think the Patrick Dorgu signing is a good one. I think he's a natural wing back where I think he's got both the capacity to do the attacking as well as the defending. But he's going to take time. He's 20 years old, and we've got nobody else near age who can add to the attacking option. So it's going to be a long few months ahead for Ruben Amorim. But what do you think? Do you agree with Gary Neville? Let me know down in the comments below. I think the assessment's very right, to be honest. Again, we have to stick with Ruben Amorim. But every single loss, every single poor performance, every single time we're sitting there rolling our eyes, looking at a really poor time, we're suddenly thinking, is this the right man for the job? And that's a dangerous position to be in just 2 or 3 months into it. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. Smash the like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.